Pacific time zone. I know we still have people joining us. Feel free to spread the word, talk to your friends, get them in here if they haven't registered already. We're going to go ahead and actually get started here as we have a lot to cover in this particular AMA. I do want to let you guys know that you do have access to the question panel there on the left-hand side. If you're using the mobile app, I do believe it's at the bottom. You can just click question and ask your questions. During the question and answer portion of the AMA, we will allow you guys to get answers to those. We do have a lot of other questions that we're going to cover as well. But hey, welcome guys. This is the October 2020 Community AMA for SoMee.social. We're going to cover quite a bit here today. You all should be able to see the screen as it is right now. I'm going to go ahead and switch to the second slide. I do believe everybody can see that. Though oddly enough, it didn't show the background that I wanted, but that's okay. So we're going to talk about our project status as well as our project marketing goals, and then we're going to have our QA. That is going to be what we're going to cover today. The format is mostly going to be a town hall type format. I'll ask questions. We'll have the various trainers and guest speakers answer those questions for us, and we'll go on from there. So we're going to talk about our launch status, which we did back in August. We're going to talk about our current project goals and some potential smart contract changes that are coming up as well. So as you guys know, back in August of 2020, we did our soft launch, and that basically was pushing a little bit of marketing on out there with some of our influencer programs, pushing the latest version of the website out, which was an enormous push, fixed hundreds upon hundreds of bugs. And at that time, we had close to 27,000 active members. We're getting about 1.2 million hits per day back in August of 2020. And that really has not abated. We've increased by several thousand members per week since then. And we're well above the 1.5 to 2 million marks per day for hits. We, for the soft launch, had squashed about 300 bugs, added several new features, and made life a lot easier for the platform. And since August, we've probably done 5 or 6 different publishes to the website and increased performance. I know one of the main questions everybody was asking was, what's our breakdown from mobile to desktop? We're 45% mobile users, 55% desktop. We're seeing more people use it on the mobile right now, which is really cool. Project development goals. So one thing that we do want to let everybody know is that we're going to fix all the minor issues that we have on the website. We're going to do some minor bug fixes and things like that. But for the most part, we've done a code freeze on SoMee.social. We have a very functional website out there right now. It does exactly what we want it to do. So when it comes to functionality for SoMee, what we're trying to focus on right now is adding the features that everybody's requesting and making the service a lot more stable. So what that means from a development perspective is we're putting a code freeze on any additional features and services to the site right now so that we can do an upgrade to the infrastructure and make it better for everybody. All right. And what we're doing for mobile is we're fixing a lot of the bugs that were reported, but we're not adding any new feature sets to the mobile right now because we're redesigning the mobile app as well with the new features and services and design field that we're about to show you. So what we're ultimately doing with this code freeze, in case anybody has a question on it, is we want to go from this functional application that we have, which may not be the most pretty looking thing in the world that has all the features that we want, to something aesthetically pleasing and that's easier for our customer base to use. So right now, you can use the website, you can do what you guys want to do, and it should work quite great for you. But we have a sneak peek of what our next few things are going to look like, and we'll let Chris discuss these as they come up. So Chris, if you want to go to slide number 6. There you go, Bosch. You want to talk about the new design?
Yeah, I mean, the new design, we've already given some sneak peek, in the past, but right now, these are the designs that they're working on. And basically, it's going to be a fully responsive design for both web and mobile. You're going to see lots of improvements come when we launch this new design, because the way that we're building this is using a different code base and foundation, and it's just streamlining everything in the way that we serve up all of the images and the code and how the front end and back end work together. So fully responsive, web and mobile. It's going to be a simple process for enrollment. unified design for all web and mobile and all platforms. And as you can see, it looks really clean and really nice. So that's why we wanted to do the code freeze and basically work on all of this. So right now what we have is a site that is scalable and it works like Philip said as it should, minus some features. Now we're working on some things where it's going to fix some of the issues that we have just recently found, and some of those are when people are swapping. So all of the swaps should work um, adequately, but we're seeing that sometimes a transaction gets dropped, and we pinpointed that yesterday in terms of why that was, and so we're taking measures to fix those issues. But minus all those things, everything is frozen, and then we'll work on this new system that will be ultra light, ultra fast, and everything will be up to date.
Cool. Let's go to slide number 7.
Okay.
So this is the desktop version, a little bit different than the mobile version, but most of the same features as well. And this is kind of what we gave out to everybody on Twitter. Oh, what was it? A month, 2 months ago? Or maybe be more than that. But anyway,
Yeah,
we gave
it was more than that.
Yeah, we gave a preview design of this out there, but we've made a lot of changes. And one of the primary changes we've made is the ability to see and control your voting power on the top left-hand side. We've streamlined how the groups and the newsfeed overall looks. And as you'll notice on the right-hand side, it has a mobile responsive layout as well. And so if you want to use it outside of the app and you want to use it on your phone and pull it up there, you'll be able to use it without having to zoom in like we do now. Let's go ahead and go to slide 8. On the mobile side of the house, it's very simple and very quick. Our current demos have the loading screen there, that nice little blue with the SoMee on it. In less than a second, it goes into the login. It's really super fast. And as you can see, it's very similar to the web login as well. Very clean, simple design. But the most important thing that we also have here is internationalization. Ooh, that's a fun word. Internationalization. There we go. And it'll come with multiple languages right out of the box. You can easily click settings even on the login screen and change your language. It'll honor the language that's currently supported on your phone as well, so that it's not just English that's presenting to you. So that's another major feature that we're putting into both the mobile and the web. Let's go to the next one. So we are also optimizing this for multiple layouts and devices as well. So this would be what the news feed would look like, for example, on a tablet, such as an Android tablet or an iPhone. And so we have some great new features at the top where we've got a unified bar. You can customize the icons and services at the top that you want to see. You may not like groups, you may not like companies, you may not ever follow those. So you can remove those from the top menu bar for easier access. And then whether it's the portrait orientation or it's a landscape orientation, the service will adjust to accommodate for that. What do you think about the tablet design, Chris?
Yeah, it's something to note. I mean, I love it. It's super clean, and I love where we're headed with this, with our product. Also, if you notice that $ at the bottom, we're going to give you the ability to do a quick view of your rewards. So instead of always having to log into the wallet, which has 2FA, and go through all of those processes, what we're going to do is put that in a quick view so that people can see almost up to the minute what their daily, weekly, and monthly earnings are right from that bottom button with the $.
Yep, that's a few slides away, actually. Let's go to slide 10. So slide 10 is what the mobile feed looks like on a mobile device. So whether it's an iPhone or an Android, it looks very similar. It's a very clean layout. We have access to all of our services and things like that that we want to access, such as our wallet and such as our friends and groups and whatever right at the top. Our notifications are based on the actual service that the notification applies to, so it makes notifications a lot easier for you guys to manage. And as you can see there on that zoom in, we have multiple ways of showing the upvote and downvote process. We're not 100% married to the icons we're using here, guys, but we just wanted to show you what a preview would look like when you click upvote. That way you have a better control on mobile. I know one of the big complaints that we have right now is a lot of people accidentally upvote or a lot of people accidentally downvote, so we do have a solution for that one. And just like all the other previous slides, guys, designs are subject to change. We may change the overall appearance a little bit as we make the development go forward, but we're actively developing this right now. Let's go to slide 11. So slide 11 is what Chris was talking about earlier, which is called the quick balance. That's at the very bottom of the screen. When you earn something, whether it's points from your post, whether it's, you get your reward distribution, it'll bounce down there for a second to get your attention. You have the ability to see what you've earned today based on the posts you have, as well as what you've earned over the week and over the month as well. And you'll have direct access to your wallet from here by clicking a wallet icon that'll let you log into the wallet. But none of the information here is anything that anybody wouldn't already have access to from our blockchain explorer and things like that. So it's just a fast way for you to track your earnings. And then number 12 is an often asked for feature on both mobile and web. I only have the mobile version up here for everybody, but we are introducing dark mode. Personally, I'm a dark mode guy. I absolutely prefer dark mode on practically everything that I'm on. I'm 40 years old. I need dark stuff. My eyes just don't want to be bombarded by white and light stuff all the time. So we do have the ability to add that to the mobile app, and we do have the ability to add that to the desktop app. And we're looking at making it dynamic for you guys too. So if you guys don't like the pure black background, you can just change the color slightly and have a better look and feel for you guys as well. I decided to put the light version plus the dark version so you guys can see the difference between the two. What do you think of dark mode, Chris?
Oh no, I love dark mode. So, and I know everybody's been asking for it. So I think it's a great feature that we'll be introducing.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's go to the next slide. Again, imagine there's a pretty pumpkin here. My slide deck that I published actually does have it in there. And when we did the preview on the AMA, it was there, but I guess broadcasting doesn't like it. So anywho, we're going to make some smart contract changes, most likely here in the future. ERC20 has been around for quite some time, hasn't it?
That's right.
And because of that, there's a lot of changes that apply to ERC20, and there's a lot of limitations of that type of contract. And we want to give our contract a little bit more utility, especially as we're a utility token. So we'll most likely be introducing an ERC 777 contract here soon. And we can let Chris talk more about the reason for that and the need for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's as Philip said, ERC20 has been the kind of beginning standard from Ethereum, and with that, there's been lots of updates to ERC20s. We recently, ran another audit on ours and saw that it's up to date, but still there's there's things that you can't do with ERC20, and there's some vulnerabilities I think that are coming about with some of the ERC20 contracts in general. But really, why we wanted to update is that ERC 777 is backwards compatible to the ERC20. We do have a ticker change that has been requested for quite some time. So we originally launched the ONG ticker, which is a acronym for our parent corporation, One Name Global Inc. And so we had kept that even after we changed the name and rebranded to SoMee. But now we're going to have something that is more in line with the new brand name of SoMee, and with the ticker, we'll line up with that. And then also ERC 777 gives us other potential use cases for areas that we want to go, such as NFTs, which are getting quite popular and make sense for a social media platform. And so those are pretty much the driving forces behind us launching an updated contract. It'll be the latest and greatest. It'll give us the updated security on our contract and keep us safe and sound for the community. So lots of good things with that.
Absolutely. And so, Aaron, what do you like about NFTs and SoMee? I know you talk about it a lot. So why don't you talk to the community about that?
All right. So what I like about NFTs is the ability to have badges and be able to implement kind of like a more gamified system than what we have now, where basically you'll have like, we could implement such as like different rewards. Like if you reach a milestone on the platform, you get a badge. Or maybe we could do like if you've used the platform for 2 years, you could get like a badge for that. All types of different
Ooh,
stuff.
SoMee veterans, gotta love that.
Yeah, right. Well, we could do
Yeah,
stuff like that.
special NFTs. I agree. I mean, I think there's a lot of use cases for it.
Yeah.
Cool beans. All right, so let's go to slide number 14. So marketing, and this is probably one of the most common questions that people ask all the time in our main chat. And we do actually have some specific questions about marketing, but right now we're just gonna ask Chris, what are the current marketing efforts for SoMee.social right now?
Right now, we're in a phase where influencers are joining SoMe. They're making their first post. They're setting up their profiles. So you probably see a lot of new faces daily and weekly. And these are part of our efforts of bringing on influencers that have, large followings on other social platforms. And so that's been happening over the course of time. And what they're doing is they're clicking the link to the on the left hand side, which says become influencer. And we're only approving certain influencers right now. So if you've applied and haven't gotten a response, or maybe have had a denial, it's because it's a fairly exclusive program right now as we roll it out to specific influencers. And we have a pretty major marketing partner who has who's going to be bringing on up to 100,000 influencers onto the platform. So these are influencers who just are going to share about the platform to their audience. They're not going to be talking about anything that would cause any compliance issues. Everything's structured in a way that that they're just going to say, hey guys, I'm on this new social platform where I'm rewarded, and I like the option that they give us for privacy and for control. And those things are okay. So we've worked with our partners to kind of roll this out, and those things are okay to do in the industry, because there's lots of regulatory things that you do have to be careful about. It's not like we're bringing on influencers to talk about cryptocurrency or our token or anything like that, because we're a utility token and we don't talk about that. So we just want to really focus on the core of the platform and scaling a new social media platform. With that, we're carefully rolling that out and getting prepared. We're in that phase where the influencers are registering, but they're not pushing really hard yet. And the reason for that is that as we've grown and pushed a little bit more traffic each week, and we've, as Philip said, we're getting how many hits per day, Philip?
We're almost above 2 million right now.
I mean, 2 million hits a day. That's a significant amount of hits onto the platform. And as we've pushed and upped and increased the current application, we tend to think that, okay, now if we do this, now it's ready to scale. So we have all this state of the art Amazon Web Services and our nodes and our witnesses and different things that are set up for automation and auto scaling and all this stuff that supports the ability to scale a web application like this. But then as we've pushed a little bit harder, we see other vulnerabilities pop up. So yesterday, one such vulnerability we noticed that was causing people to not be able to swap successfully. So there was errors. And what we found is that we're pushing too much information into one block, and the blocks couldn't keep up, even with our queuing system. So we immediately took some steps to add another queuing system, and now we're ramping up more witness nodes. And so, as we take each step, we believe that we're getting closer and closer to being able to push harder and then harder with our influencers. So once we know that everything is really running smoothly with the current setup, that's when we'll will really turn up the marketing. So that's kind of where we're at from a phase standpoint. So then we'll move to phase 2 and phase 3. And phase 2 will be really starting to scale the current web app. And then what you'll see is the new updated changes that we showed you already that will come into the platform. And by that, we'll be at a pretty big scale. But that's going to allow us to even give the really the best experience possible with that release. So that's when we'll really open it up wide open, and so we're looking forward to that.
So I think right now our main focus is growth. Our influencers are in there. They're building their presences on SoMee.social. They are doing some marketing out there and bringing more people in, but it's not a huge amount that we're talking about here, right?
That's right. Yeah, we've asked them, not to push real hard yet and to just hold off. But when we say, "Hey, we're ready, let's go," you'll see a lot of new faces, and you'll see that we can grow to 1 million users like almost overnight.
So now I know I put this in every AMA and we talk about partnerships with SoMee, and partnerships for SoMee are about the crypto community. We as a platform don't believe that we should be the only social media platform on crypto. We want all the other social platforms and all the other social crypto platforms to partner with us so that we can provide the best service for everybody. So even though I ask at every single community AMA, we can't always reveal who those partners are because there's marketing requirements and contractual requirements. So my question for you, Chris or Aaron, is do we have any partnerships that we can willingly announce right now?
Well, I think that we've announced partnerships like Civic in the past. Obviously, we integrated in Civic's registration and login tool for privacy. In the past, we had Bancor. I know that we have, we've integrated Ethereum. Obviously, with Aaron's relationships, we've had something going with, in the past we had Steam, but then it, some things happened in the industry with that, and it was Hive, which the community launched. So I know that we've have planned integrations with some of these other partners as well, so that people can cross post to some other platforms. There's nothing we can really, I think, that are in the works. I know that we have Infura that we've integrated, so there's some integrations, industry integrations. Sum and Substance is one of our partners for the verification process. We use a third party for that, and they've been great. Anything else on your mind, Aaron?
Yeah, but I don't want to mention it without asking you. So I'm going to send you a message on Telegram.
You guys have to understand, we can't always tell you who our partners that are working with us, because if we don't have the integration done or they're not ready for marketing, we can't release it. So we'll see what Chris says here.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can mention that that since they've already approved it,
Yeah.
Kyber is one that Aaron's talking about.
So
and
we're going to be integrating Kyber Network to replace Bancor because Bancor had high fees. So Kyber is going to be integrated. We don't have a time frame for it, but we work to get a partnership with Kyber because of the swap on the site for swapping ERC20 tokens is actually integrated with Bancor. So we needed to kind of branch out and get a partnership with Kyber or another one. So we went with Kyber.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to necessarily say that it was because Bancor had high fees, because a lot of those fees Bancor cannot control with the Ethereum network. But I do want to say that we're excited about the relationship with Kyber and the partnership with them, because people have been asking for Kyber, and it's a great project. And obviously, that's going to give us another option for our users, so that people can choose, which service that they want to use to swap. Another one that one of our devs just brought up was CoinGecko.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, we integrated CoinGecko into our favorite coins section, And we included their logo there, so you can click and go right to their site and check out some of the stats and information directly there about SoMee. And they've been a great partner, Bobby on G. So we met with him, back before the integration happened, discussed it. And not that we didn't like our partnership with CoinMarketCap, but they gave us a real sweetheart deal in terms of that integration and the API and kind of some unlimited things. So we're able to serve up that information right there for favorite coins for people. So that's another great one that Addie had messaged me about. So yeah, we have some great partnerships.
There's one more I think we can mention. We can mention some people kind of missed it, but BitBoy Crypto. We brought BitBoy Crypto on as a advisor to the project earlier.
That's right. That's right. BitBoy is is an awesome person in general, and he's been in the industry for quite some time. Very popular, has a great following, and he's been using SoMee for a while now, and decided that he liked the project to come on as an advisor. And we love that because he's so connected in the industry. I think recently did an interview directly with Akon, which has been somebody that we've been wanting to collaborate with. So, and I know that one of our other partners that brings in a lot of the big name celebrities is already talking to Akon as well. So it gives us another inroad, to talk to some of these people and to get on their radar. So, some exciting things ahead. We're doing everything we can to partner with other projects, that are out there. I know that, like projects like Float, which, you could consider them, a competitor, but we actually partnered with them. And at some point when we can line things up, want to have more collaboration with other social media projects, because it's, we're all working towards the same goal here, which is giving people more control, giving them control over their private information, and honoring people and what they're trying to do on social media and giving them their voice, without censorship. We are a project that does moderate to keep our community safe. So it just doesn't mean it's a free for all and you can just post anything. So, as long as it's within our community guidelines, but it's, we all have, I think, the same goal of rewarding content, giving people more control, and kind of changing the nature of how the social media moves forward. So we're excited about some of these partnerships, and really happy to drop some of those today. But honestly, there's a lot more in the works that we can't talk about.
There's also Library, BitTube, which we've confirmed with both of those. Hive, pre-search early on. Pre-search, I've already talked to Colin Pape. He's a good friend of mine.
Yeah, that's a great project.
He's agreed to advertise SoMee on their site for free for us.
Yeah.
So,
and we want to integrate really pre-search into SoMee, so that when people search through our site as well, that they're earning the pre-rewards. So it goes hand in hand. And again, these are great projects that we want to support and that want to support us.
So let's talk about our next thing that everybody was asking about earlier this month, and it was one of our bigger requests, and that was the SoMee merch. And as you guys know, everybody asked for a t-shirt, or they asked for a baseball cap or something, and we wanted to make sure that we gave the community an actual voice here. So for an entire month, we ran our little poll, and we had a lot of people vote. 235 active voter submissions, well over close to 3,000 individual lines. We had 50 custom item requests in there from people, but we did go ahead and select the top 10. So let's go to the next slide and reveal those. So these are the top 10 merch requests from everybody in the community. Obviously, there's some common ones there, right? Like t-shirts, hoodies, and caps. I was actually kind of surprised by the water bottles, Chris.
I was too. Yeah, I didn't think that people really wanted the SoMee water bottles, but that's cool. I'm glad that they voted for it, and we'll.
Does that include coffee mugs? Just saying.
It does not. Believe it or not, mugs only received 2 votes.
All right,
2.
I'm gonna need a custom.
That's a surprising one because I know everybody likes their mug in the morning. So
To be honest, I'm probably still going to put mugs out there for everybody because I love them. But the socks and the masks and the water bottles, that actually surprised me.
Absolutely. We're excited to get these out there.
So we do have the designs for them, everybody, just to let you guys know. So now that we have the designs and we know what the community wants, we'll go ahead and get those designed, and then we'll get those up for you guys to order. So look out for that pretty soon. Let's go ahead and go to our open question. Now, we have actually taken a lot of time, and we talked about all of our slides and everything in there. So the format of this particular question and answer section is going to cover just some questions for Chris, some questions for the developer, some questions for Aaron, and then we're going to ask some of the questions that were asked inside of chat. So let's look and see if there's some questions that we can answer on that. Apprentice had asked, when is the ad share system planned to be released?
We didn't want to release the ad share system until we actually started to scale at least 1 million users onto the platform, which, like I said, could happen fairly quickly. So we do have it fairly ready to release. It's still kind of being tested, but we may end up waiting. It just depends. We're going to have to see when the ad share comes in, but that's something that we wanted to inject into the system once we actually had everything running very smoothly. So I know that we have with the existing system, we're very close, and but we always think that we're close, and then all of a sudden, we push a little harder and something else breaks, like we just had happen yesterday. So we want to make sure that that everything is rock solid. So if that happens with our current system where we have the code freeze, even with the code freeze, we could technically release it if we started to scale the 1 million users, and then we would bring in the brands and trusted partners that we have that would start the advertising on the platform, and then start to run the campaigns for everybody to participate in. So that's a question I can't answer that specifically. We just have to see how that plays out, but hopefully sooner rather than later. But at the latest, it would be when we release all the major updates. When is that scheduled, Philip, on our roadmap? Is that like what?
January, February, and March.
January, February, March. So it could be that we wait until then and then hit the full scale and then release it. So potentially March of 2021.
Cool. Nikolai asks, who is our payment provider? Well, we actually have multiple Nikolai. Right now, the primary payment provider is Square. Square has a long history of supporting crypto projects. They have a long history with CoinDesk and Coinbase as well, so they were very happy to become our payment provider of choice. And one thing that many of our customer base asks is, how do we use Square if we're outside of the United States? It's actually really simple. You can still go to the website and check out, buy your power-up packages, do your verification without an issue. It's just that you have to go to your card settings, whether it's on your portal website, whether it's by calling the bank, whatever, and make sure you turn on international payment authorization. As long as international payments are turned on, you can use our payment provider without an issue. And then I do know that Apprentice also asked, when will superpowers plan to be turned back on? So Chris, you want to talk about superpowers?
Yeah, I was trying to project the question to everybody. So yeah, I mean, the superpowers are something that we've been waiting for, because we wanted to make sure that all of the backdated GFuel was processed. And so once that happens, which we're really close to finishing that script, I believe.
Yep.
Then we can actually turn the superpowers back on and enable people to earn a little bit more. So we may end up waiting until we update the smart contract just to put that into play. But it's not necessarily that we have to. We wanted to make sure that really the GFuel was backdated before we turn that back on.
Cool beans. So we do have a few other questions here, but we've got a few categories of questions. And one of the primary categories is what we call scrutiny. It's where our community asks some rather hard questions or some difficult questions for us. And the first person to ask a scrutiny question was Cuddles. And he says, need bigger volume for price to stabilize. Can't get that volume with a 10K limit per day. Do we know when the limit for being able to swap SoMee will be changed?
Yeah, I mean, the limit is there to kind of protect the ecosystem at the moment. So again, it's hard for us to answer some of these questions because we have to shift development resources to come up with solutions that we've planned to make sure that the system is fair for everybody. And some of those solutions take a little bit of time. And so when we have things that happen like yesterday, where we have an unknown situation where we need to make sure that the actual system is and swaps and everything are functioning properly, which kind of takes us, again, off of the normal development course to make these changes, then we have to shift resources into that first. So I'm not completely able to answer that yet, just because we don't actually know, and I don't want to make any promises that we would remove that. The issue was that when we opened up the swaps previously and just left it unlimited, the daily reward pool was being filled, and some of the whales would come in and just swap out a massive amount and take the majority of the supply. So we had to make a tough decision. Okay, let's put some limits on it for now while we're creating some other solutions behind the scenes that can actually make it fair for everybody. But those things just take time to roll out.
Cool. And so another scrutiny question is, and it's actually a general question as well, so we'll just briefly explain it. We were asked exactly what is tokenomics, and are we doing any changes to our tokenomics on the social media platform?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the tokenomics obviously are the plan of how the token functions, and I think in terms of how the economy functions and how it's all set up and designed, we need to we are working on some things behind the scenes that we're discussing at the moment. Again, it takes time to study these things and then make sure that everything is aligned with the economy and taking into account future growth projections. So currently, we had tokens that early on we had been asked to burn half of our supply, and I think that a lot of people kind of know that we did that prematurely, right? We did it as a way to appease the community at the time because people were really pushing hard to get us to burn half the supply. But actually, hindsight's 2020, right? If we actually wouldn't have burned half of the supply at the time, we feel like we would have been positioned a little bit better to actually to deliver the proper tokenomics that we had set in the white paper initially. So our initial plan actually was right on track, and when we made a little misstep there, but that's okay because we have to update our smart contract, like we said, to the new standard, and we're looking at ERC 777, and then with that we can do a ticker change, and we don't want to do that until we actually have the proper tokenomics study complete, so that we can roll that out and kind of account for the projected growth numbers that we're also going to have. So we're taking a look at all that right now, and then we'll answer that at a future AMA or at a future time, because as soon as we have that ready to go, we actually want to implement it sooner rather than later, just so that we can streamline all these things. Because in our minds, we also have a marketing team and marketing department. They're creating all this content, and they don't want to just brand everything with ONG if it's not going to be ONG, right? So we kind of have to look at all these different moving pieces and line everything up. And so we do want to try to make that decision sooner rather than later.
Cool. So another scrutiny question came about tokenomics from several members of our community, and they were asking two specific questions. Why has circulating supply increased, and why is the price of ONG so low right now?
Yeah, it's a good point. We've seen an increase in supply. We've moved some things around on our wallets. Our developer wallet we've been selling some of our own tokens slowly, but we've been selling, and we do that to cover costs because everything that we have, what we're doing at the moment, is quite expensive. From infrastructure to Amazon, which is not cheap, but it gives us the ability to actually deliver a state-of-the-art platform that can scale once we get some of these things ironed out. So that's probably why we've seen. I know that at some point we had moved some of our own tokens internally, and just because we moved it didn't necessarily make it circulate. But if you looked on CoinMarketCap, for example, it actually triggered all of that as circulating supply. And so that's probably one area. And then another area is where we've as a team have sold some of our development tokens to continue to keep us capitalized for these initiatives that we have presented to you here, to make things better and better as we go. And what was the second part of that question, Philip?
Why is the price of ONG so low?
The price, we don't really have any control over the price. We do know that we were doing a little bit of marketing, and we saw that that the actual price of the token was was fluctuating up, and it was trending up. And then we had some reports of, actually, I think somebody who had bought, what was it, Philip, like 4 million of the token, and
correct.
They just dumped it on the market all at once at a loss. So don't know why somebody would do that, but it is, these are some of the games that either, other people play or competitors. I really have anything to say about it, but, I would just say that, for us, it's a utility token, and it's there to, for people to accumulate so that they can power it up on our network and increase their potential for, for passive rewards on the social network for content and votes. So it's a benefit for people when they can accumulate it and power it up and do that. So for now, that's really all we can say. We have no control over it ourselves, and not really much we can do. But as the project grows, if you look at Bitcoin, for example, Bitcoin that launched this whole kind of revolution for decentralization and cryptocurrency. How many years was it just pennies, and people were just giving it away? People like Roger Ver were just giving it to their friends and trying to get exposure. And if you look at Bitcoin today, it's come a long way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these things don't just happen overnight. And just because we have a complete social media platform backing our token, and from a utility standpoint, doesn't mean that it's known every night. It takes an army of people to get the word out about something and to get exposure to your project. And we want to do that in the right way and just expose people to the platform that we've built. And through the nature of that exposure of the actual platform and technology, as we make it better and better for people, more and more people are going to want to get the utility token and then use it for staking, for ad share and rewards and different things. So just enjoy it while it's nice and cheap.
Cool beans. So we are going to pull a question from our AMA here. Both Madam AK and Worley asked a very similar question. Will SoMee.social have the ability to post features or videos similar to Facebook Story with live videos and filters?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously want to have that's high on our priority for videos and filters and short clips that people can upload. We actually have some opportunity, even though we have a code freeze generally, but we have some potential opportunity for that to be offered in our existing our existing app. It's been built. There's a couple partners that we have actually that give us the ability to provide that through an API. So you may see it sooner rather than later, but we don't know yet because we want to see how we want to execute first on the stabilization and then the scale and drive some numbers on the current platform, and then see at some point if we want to just add that in. If it's easy enough through our API, then we'll go ahead and add it. If we want to wait, then we'll just wait until the new design and React Native code is available to deliver that. But it's definitely on the roadmap.
Cool beans. So we do have a lot of questions. We have a limited amount of time that we can cover them, but we'll do our best to post the questions and answers to them when we get them. We're going to switch from Scrutiny to just some general questions that were asked over the last month or so. Currently, what is the GFuel to voting power conversion like? What does 1 GFuel equal in regards to voting power?
AC, do you want to answer that one? Do you have those metrics for one GFuel? How does that impact?
Say that question again, because I was looking for through the question.
One GFuel, how much voting power do you get with one single GFuel?
No, I'm not too sure about that. I know that it's 1 million GFuel is equal to 18,000 voting power.
I think that's the other way around.
Yeah, it is the other way around.
When it comes to decimals, we're an 18 decimal token. So if we use that, then 1 GFuel is approximately equal to 18,000 voting power. Approximately. So whenever you look at your GFuel in your wallet, you can multiply that by 18,000-ish to get the approximate value. Now, granted, it's going to be higher and lower based on your voting. But I wanted to give both Chris and AC a time to answer that, because when it comes to GFuel, when it comes to voting power, and when it comes to SoMee point generation and rewards, there's still some mystery behind that. It's not a simple process for some people, and because most people don't understand crypto. So the question that we would have as a community is, if you post, you get G-Bucks, GFuel, and SoMee points. Why do you not get G-Bucks, GFuel, and SoMee points when you're upvoting?
I mean, it's a good question. I guess when you're upvoting, you're only getting the SoMee points and the GFuel, correct?
Correct. You don't actually get G-Bucks.
I can answer that. The reason why it was designed that way is so the people who are upvoting are getting more GFuel, so it encourages them to stay powered up, and it's a split for
content creators.
Yeah, it's a split for content creators as compared to upvoting.
So it really incentivizes people, you guys, to upvote and the activity, because a lot of people might post content, but they're not out there upvoting other people's content. And the reason why we changed from I think it used to be, what was it, 70-30 or 60-40, but the reason why we changed to 50-50 was for a purpose of incentivizing everybody to be upvoting, and it gives you a little bit more incentive even as a whale. And I just got even a message that from one of our guys that's bringing the influencers. And he said that he talked about the fact that they're seeing a group of whales out there that are upvoting each other's stuff only, that they've noticed as new users. And he says maybe once a week or something they could spread their votes out there. And he just literally just messaged me that. And I agree, and I think that's why we've designed it that way. They can get a little bit extra, and it's okay to go spread the love, for example, and upvote other people's posts, because as a whale you're getting that compensation level right back. So I would encourage everybody to keep that in mind, and just go and just upvote good content that you like that's out there for new members, especially. I know there's a lot of it already happening, so this may have been, they're bringing quite a few people on, so different people have different comments, but that's the reason behind it. And a lot of people wanted that when that change was made with Steam, and they asked us to do it, and we did it. So but we didn't include the G-Bucks with the upvoting. So, but the G-Bucks is definitely a key component. People don't realize it now, but we're going to be releasing something with the future ad share system that are going to make G-Bucks really desirable. So, so stay tuned on that.
Cool. So as community managers, yourself, Chris, yourself, AC, myself, as well as one of the senior admins here, but I'm going to ask you guys before I answer. As community moderators, do you want the SoMee community thriving as a grassroots community with endless networking potential, or just as a small clique of influencers or major celebrities who are just generally running the show? What do you guys prefer?
I personally prefer the grassroots. That's the way we've always been, actually, from inception. This has been a very grassroots company, honestly, because in the early days, I mean, this has been going for 8 years now. So we were before the whole crypto craze and ICO craze in 2017. We launched the company in 2012, and then formed our corporation in 2013. But throughout that entire process of building the first platform that we had, it was mostly grassroots. And when you feel the power of grassroots growth, there's nothing that can really compete with that. I know that it's great to have celebrities and influencers and people that have that wide reach, but if we can combine both, those are the best of both worlds.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I do know for you, AC, as well, the alternative press and freedom of speech and things like that is super big. So do you prefer grassroots as well?
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I didn't know you were going to lead into it, but yeah, I come from the alternative press. I've written for numerous outlets online, independent media. I have lots and lots of friends in independent media. Now, just because I have quote unquote influencer friends, or I'm a influencer and I hate that word, I really want the grassroots approach. And I come from an activist background as well. I've organized various different protests over the years, and because of that, I have a grassroots background, connections with various different organizers and stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely want a grassroots approach as opposed to just influencers. But I just want to comment and say real quickly that like the rewards, guys, the rewards are going to be all over the place. It's like you can't expect to get high rewards. You're going to get what you get. If you post good content, some people like me who are whales on the platform, we do notice and upvote your content, but it's going to be all over the board. It's just how the nature of things are. I mean, these celebrities and everything coming in, they're going to have higher rewards because the people bringing them in, a lot of them are whales. That's all I got to say.
No, that's perfect. And that's actually one of the reasons why we wanted to ask that question, is because that really leads natively into the next part of our conversation, which is about the community. As you know, on Telegram, we have 1,800 plus members who follow us. We have 40,000 active members on SoMee Social at any one time. We almost have 100 active members in our Discord community. And for us, community is everything, right? So we want our community to represent SoMee in the best possible way. And so, rabid community members that are attacking other members and things like that, that's not really the image that we want to project. So for us, having a grassroots community bolster the platform, I think is definitely the way we want to go. We talk a lot about bringing celebrity influencers in and stuff like that, but those are just people that help spread the word of social media, and they have the followers to do it as well. But the community, each person in the community is a vital chain link there. If you guys don't spread your own voice on social media, your own voice to get out there about what SoMe is, then it doesn't matter how many A-list celebrities that we have talking, the platform will never grow. So I think to us, grassroots is vitally important, right?
Absolutely.
Cool beans. We don't really have a lot of time left, guys. I'm just going to go over the poll that we had recently shared. I didn't announce it because I wanted it to be a little bit organic. We do have about 39 people in the chat right now with us in the AMA. We pushed out our poll about the SoMe ticker. What the community would prefer would be the ticker when Chris was talking about the smart contract changes. And of the 39 people, we had 25 votes. So great job, everybody. And right now, I'm going to go ahead and show the results to everybody. There you go. You should see here that the primary one that's winning right now, believe it or not, Chris, is MEE.
Wow.
It's the
Wow.
one that everybody else didn't vote for here internally.
Yeah. We did a kind of a private poll before, and only a couple of people voted for the me. But that was something that I had, put out there in terms of potential. So interesting.
Yeah, about 36% of the people liked that. About 25% of the people really liked SOM, and a good number 20% liked SME. So it's good that we have this chance to explain it to the community. We're not quite sure which ticker we're going to go with, but we do want to make it recognizable for everybody in the community. And then the last thing that we really want to talk about as well is the upcoming changes that we have to the website, and those are coming out over the next few months and in the first quarter of 2021. We're still upgrading our infrastructure to deal with those things. And we're also making sure that you guys have a better user experience. So we're going to be releasing some handouts to the community today and tomorrow, showing the community guidelines, showing, what we as SoMeans are, what our manifesto is, as well as the slide deck for today's AMA. We're also going to be releasing the recording for this, so you guys can access that. And then once we have Chris, AC, Diego, myself, and AG go through the questions that everybody has asked, because guys, I only asked maybe 30% of the questions that we had lined up. We just didn't have the time for everything. Then we'll release those to the community as well. As you guys know, we hold our community AMAs on the third Saturday, that's like the very last Saturday for the most part, of every single month. And it's always at 10:30 in the morning Pacific time. Doesn't matter what time of year it is, last Saturday of the month, 10:30 in the morning. It's going to be the same exact registration link that you guys registered the first time. So continue in joining us and talking with us every single month. Ask your questions inside of the Telegram and Discord channels that we have. You can email your questions into support@somee.social, and you can also post on our development blogs as well. But that really is all the time that we have today for our community AMA. Chris, did you want to follow up with anything?
Just want to tell everybody to have a great SoMeeween. It's cool that we have some community members creating some custom stickers I saw. So I just wanted to say have a happy and safe time. Thanks for being here and supporting us. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys on the next AMA.
Awesome. Aaron, anything you wanted to follow up on?
No, that's basically it. I have nothing really to say besides just like what Chris said. Happy SoMeeween and be safe.
Awesome sauce. Thanks, guys, for joining us, and you guys have a great day.